So we are back, and we're going to continue to build out this business. So initially, we started off, we had nothing. So I opened up a notepad and I showed you after brainstorming, once you found out, just to recap, once you know exactly what you wanted to do, and we started working on the name. So now, like I said, the name was one of the most important pieces. We went to the name check, found a few names that we can work with right here. And then we went through and just tried to figure out what name we were going to work with. And then we just made some basically, we captured some names that we wanted to use, potential, and then everything that was potentially available for social media that we could use, and then email address. So, one good thing that, like I said, you're never going to get almost everything perfect. But the one thing that we were able to do, we found the email, so we were able to find the email address that we're going to use for this business. And don't worry about like the Gmail piece of it is more on the back end, but I'm going to show you how you can turn this into a professional email without anyone actually seeing this email. So once you have your domain, we're going to work on the domain. So you'll use a professional email versus using a Gmail or an Outlook email. It's always best to go with a professional version, so you stand out a little bit more. Okay. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go through the process of trying to con- continue to build. So now that I have a Gmail and it's a new box, everything is up and running. So we created a new bill. So that means one of the steps in here was to would have been to create a new Gmail account. Okay, I recommend Gmail because there's a lot of things that connects with Google that you're going to need later on. You can use whatever you want to import any other email, but Google is kind of specific for when you're doing like your YouTube channel, if you're gonna create one, when you're gonna do trying to get your business on the first page of Google and all that. It's just best to start off and just go straight with a Google email, right? So once that is done, and you can make that a step under the name process because, like I said, it's step by step process. So now, what we're gonna do, I know how everyone keeps saying the business plan is hard to write, but if you started from the beginning, when you're developing, things become easier along the way. So what I like to do, we call it capture and label, right? So if you're in your Google, just go ahead and go all the way down to a Google Docs, because you don't really have anything else. Open up a blank Google Docs. All right. So up here, we're going to call it draft. So this is where now you have your business plan in draft mode, and you're going to be building this business plan as you go along with the business. And this is what I was saying. Instead of saying business plan, think about it as a plan of how you're going to develop your business. And then in turn, this is how your business is going to operate. So you're going to capture, make notes. Everything you're going to do is going to be on this one sheet of document. So when it's time for you to convert everything for your business plan, you technically almost have all the information that you need. And there is really no issues there. Okay. All right. So first thing we want to do, let's go ahead and get our template. So we're going to get a template. We're going to get a business plan template that we're going to follow, just the generics, right? There you go. We're going to follow this plan to build out. So we know everything that we need so far, right? That we're going to be working on. See that? Too easy. So now, if we want to, we could add anything that's an appendix. are your appendixes. This is where you can add additional information so that you have the relevant and the necessary information that you need for your plan, right? And like I said, everything is just going to work itself out because now you're starting on your business plan, but you're building it all the way out accordingly for everything that you need. So, first and foremost, the name. We know the name now because we have the name. So, your business name. So, right here, I can go ahead and say that is the name of the business. So it is too easy to keep drafting this because now I know changes a little bit. So it becomes one. So go to 40. Seems like 45 is good. So now I know, okay, business plan, the name, everything and anything. Boom. You got your name in there. Everything is going well. Business name is the same thing. So on the executive summary right here where you have your business name, you want to go ahead and edit there too. So, founder, owner, that's your name. That's you the one that's doing it. Current date, which is today. So basically, you know that the date that you're building this out is today. So if you want to just say current date, or you want to leave it as the date you draft the plan. Remember, it's a draft in progress, so you don't have to worry about it right now. Just keep going from this stage. Okay, so your business plan is in the making, and then you're building your products along the way. So the first step that we were on, we did our brainstorm. Brainstorm was putting the pieces together to make sure that hey, this is what I want to do. Finding a name. We have the name solid set, and this is now where we're gonna go ahead and make some annotation, right? So let's go ahead and add a tab down here, and we're going to call this domain. Jeez, hard to type. All right, so under my appendixes, I'm going to be adding my domain name. And then everything else that we captured earlier, we're going to put it under here, like relevant information that is going to be included with your business plan, right? Stuff that you need to make sure that you're capturing. I'm telling you, if you follow the steps, it makes it a little bit easier for you because you have everything that you need going forward, right? You see how the pieces are coming together? All right, so we know the domain name right here. That's what we captured earlier. There you go. So that would be your domain name that's captured. And then we can say social media. The social media accounts. Now, all the social media accounts, what you want to do, you want to capture the handles that you're going to use later. So when you start working on the Facebook, capture Facebook, capture Instagram, capture Twitter, I'll call X, right? Capture your YouTube, TikTok, maybe. All right, so you have all these social media handles right here that you're basically working on. You're going to capture these and you're making note of everything inside of your appendixes, inside of the appendix, so that it's already there. You know exactly what you're working with, right? Capture the handles, put them on the documentation so it's easy for you to work with. All right, so the next step that we can do today, we can go ahead and work on the EIN. So now EIN is a part of the IRS. And when we talk about IRS, that falls into finances, right? So that means over here on the financial plan, I can go ahead and I'm going to say, well, let's add EIN number right there. And that means now we need to go ahead and work on trying to get your EIN. So for most of you who've never done this before, we're just going to go online and we're going to go to irs.gov. And then once you here, you're just going to go ahead and apply for EIN number, right? If it's available, we'll let you know that you can apply online right now. So you go ahead and you click apply online. Just click OK. Begin the application. And once you begin the application, it's going to take you through a series of questions. So, for example, remember inside of your business plan, the structure asked you earlier, how are you going to structure your business? So, basically, how are you going to structure it is right here. So, that means when you go back to your plan and you're looking at it and you have to figure out what's your business structure, right here on the company description, legal structure, specify the legal structure of your business, example LLC. Once you select this already over here that you're filing as an LLC or whatever, under your business plan, all you have to do is list it. You highlight it, that's what we're going to do. This is going to be the structure of our business right there. You capture it to make sure, okay, this is how we're rolling. So my company now, you can put it in green to make sure. I like to say green because green means it's good to go. So that means my legal structure, I have identified that I'm going to be building this business as an LLC because that's how you're going to file it on the IRS .gov website. So then on the company description, you already going to put this on there. It's too easy. It's done, right? It's like you're knocking out two things at one time. So you go back here and you file your LLC. So let's say you're going to do an LLC. You click LLC, you click next, and then it's going to ask you what type of LLC structure. Now, there's multiple different ways you can do it. You can do the LLC um, basically as a group LLC, so it's like a multi, or you can do a single LLC, which you'll see on the next page. Right, so we'll ask you the state and then how many members are in the LLC. If you choose more than one, it's going to give you the option to select like a member LLC or a multi LLC or a single LLC. And I'm gonna show you in the next screen. So let's say we're gonna do two in this group, and I'm in Hawaii, so I'm just gonna go ahead and choose my state real quick. Where is Hawaii? Show me Hawaii. There you go, and click continue. Right here, this is what I was talking about. So a multi-member LLC basically is going to classify you because similar to like a partnership. So this is where later on you'll have to file these two forms right here, establishing the business as like an S corp or whatever. And one of the good things about it, I'm not gonna get too much into, but as an S corp, you can do hiring later if you're gonna take on more people to help out with the business and so forth, right? So you just want to make sure that whatever the structure you're gonna choose, this is how you're gonna identify it here for IRS. Now, I'll tell you what, if you don't know what you want to do early, just start off with a single member LLC, right? So go back to the type right here, put one. If it's just you, just put one, right? Choose your state because in the long run, if you need to change your status, it's a simple process. You can just go in, request to change your status from a single to a multi or LLC to an S corp or whatever it might be. You have the capabilities to do this. So you're not really like stuck. Like if I file it now, I can't file it later. You have the ability to go and do this later. All right. So for right now, since we're not adding no one to this LLC, it's just going to be this company by itself. So this is where we're going to choose one, and we're going to click continue. Now it's going to tell you right here, single member LLC. So when you see this, this is basically telling you that it's just an individual, your income, the expenses, that's it, right? So you click continue, and then it's going to ask you the reason why you want to do the LLC. Obviously, if any of these match, that's what you're going to choose. But right now, since you're starting a new business, obviously you want to start a new business. That's going to be the one you start. But later, like I was saying, if you're changing over like to hire employees or for banking purposes later, if you needed one just for strictly banking purposes for the business, this is where you go. Or if you needed to change the type of organization, like I was telling you before, you'll come back in like you're changing from a sole proprietor, a partnership, or from a partnership to a corporation, so forth. You come back in and you'll change these, right? Well, right now we're just going to we're sticking with starting a new business. So you're gonna click start a new business and you're gonna click continue. Right now, after you get to authenticate piece, you're gonna fill out all the information that you need. This is your personal information. And once you fill it out, it's going to ask you for your SSN, put all that stuff in, and you're going to keep going, right? So, right here, where you see the SSN, we're going to pause, let you fill yours out, and then when you're done, we're going to go back and talk about this a little bit more, okay? All right, so now that I assume that you have applied for your EIN, you should be at this page where it says, congratulations, your EIN has been successfully assigned. I just blocked out mine a little bit so you don't have to worry about seeing it and everything. But this is the page that you should be on. And once you're done. So, what I want you to do now is go back to your Google. So, we're going to be organizing a little bit. So, now that you have your Gmail, and you're working on your Gmail, we started working on the draft plan. The next step we want to do is we're going to create some folders. So inside of your Google as well, you have also what's called a Google Drive. And I'm going to show you now that your business plan draft is also being reflected inside of your Google Drive. So when you go to My Drive, I want you to go ahead and you're going to go click New, and you're going to click Folder. And I want you to create a new folder and you're going to call this Business, right? And then just give it the name of whatever the business is going to be. So, like, for example, this will be just so you want to keep things a little bit organized and you go click create. So now that you have a folder and you have your name, from here on out, you need to make sure that you are filing, storing, keeping copies of every single documentation that you receive for your business, right? And then you need to organize it. So don't just throw things all over the place because it's going to come to a point when you need something and you can't find it and you're just going to be scratching your head like, man, where did I put it? So if you, like I said, this is one of the reasons why I do recommend going with Google because you have all the tools already built in free once you create an account that's at your leverage that you can use to your own advantage to make this a little bit easier and you can be successful. So inside of your folder, right, this is where you want to start creating different folders. So the first one that we probably would build here on the new folder, I'll call this finance documents. Now, in here, go back in and I will create a new one called EIN. And now that you have your EIN documentation, you go ahead and you add it right there. So you should always have a folder structure for every single piece of document that you will get. And then now that EIN number that you received earlier, just go ahead and add it to that folder. Okay, and then next, once we keep building as moving forward, you will see as time goes by, you will have a bunch of documents. You're filing them properly. You have everything organized, and everything is just going to look nice and happy and great for you.